It's an old joke between theater techs that sometimes it is a battle over whether something counts as a costume or counts as a prop. There are plenty of things that the character is technically wearing, but need to be handled in some way that's necessary for the action of the story. Sometimes this leads to various designers trying to claim it's somebody else's job to make sure it gets found, made, or brought to rehearsal. God knows the Hawking cast has had to pantomime quite a few items early in the rehearsal process because the director thought of them as costumes and that they weren't needed yet. But these pieces are as vital to the action as much as any other items that the characters handle. Some of these are things that the characters always have with them. Justin Hawking, for example, is rarely seen without his signature walking stick. Having this prop to play with allows his actor, Eric Chung, to express Justin's extravagant, attention-seeking personality through physical gesture. It's the perfect accessory for a gentleman who's just a little bit extra and likes people to know it. Putting on and taking off costume items can also really say a lot. In Gilded Cages, an important scene between Mrs. Hawking and Madame Malika involves the stage business with both of their costume pieces. Mrs. Hawking enters by carrying in her ball gown, a look that she doesn't want to put on but represents the weight of the task that she's about to do. And then she helps Madame Malika tie on her wrist bracers. This putting on of armor symbolizes the boundary that Madame Malika is laying down in the scene, and Mrs. Hawking's helping her stands for her accepting that boundary as a gesture of respect. In Bass Instruments, Mary begins working wearing a stealth suit very much like Mrs. Hawking, showing her enthusiasm at the moment for emulating the way her mentor does things. But Mary realizes in the course of this story that she is trying to push herself into a mold that doesn't fit. So, when she hands the hood back to Mrs. Hawking, the gesture illustrates her having to turn down the role of becoming the next Nighthawk in favor of becoming her own version of a hero. Nathaniel not being in the habit of tying his own tie seems mostly to be a small character moment. A man of his class is accustomed to dressing with the help of a manservant, after all. But that's an opportunity for storytelling as much as anything else. In Bass Instruments, Mrs. Hawking ties his tie for him in a moment where he's trying to make clear that he wants them to be a team that helps each other. This underscores that relationship. By contrast, in Mrs. Frost, when the title villain ties his tie for him, it's a superficially helpful gesture that is more about emphasizing his helplessness in the situation, and how she's the one with the power and the control. On rare occasion, props can act as costume pieces. Of course, there's stuff like Nathaniel's pocket watch, which he carries whenever he wears a vest, but there's also more narratively functional stuff, like Mrs. Hawking's kukri, which we see here in Gilded Cages on Reginald Hawking's belt the very first time we lay eyes on him. While he doesn't use it for anything in this scene, seeing him with it reminds us that it came into her possession after he acquired it in the course of his service. These seemingly small pieces are the materials of the characters' lives. If they're significant in this way, of course they're going to be important to telling their stories. Their physical reality and presence really creates a concrete way to show some of our most important ideas and meanings to the audience. And you can see all of these shows here on our YouTube channel, @Mrs. Hawking.